Hello everyone, I'm so excited to announce that tomorrow I'm going to be going to Japan. I will be in Japan for 2.5 weeks, so unfortunately that means there's not going to be any videos of my trip until around the last week of June, but while I'm in Japan, my goal is to record every single second of my experience and every single day that I'm exploring Japan. This will be my second trip to Japan. My first trip to Japan was 7 years ago. I went in the spring of 2016 and I explored Japan during the cherry blossom season, so that was super scenic. But this is going to be my first time visiting Japan this summer, and I think that's going to definitely be a different experience, but I cannot wait for it. When I went to Japan on my last trip, that was the best 2 weeks of my entire life. And now I'm going to give you a brief overview of my 2.5 week long trip. Tomorrow I'm going to be flying into Tokyo's Narita airport, and I'm going to be arriving around 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon their time, and then I'm going to have to take the train, which is going to take about an hour into the city of Tokyo, so I'm hoping that we get to spend at least a few hours that night before going to bed for the next morning. One of the activities I'm looking forward to doing in Tokyo is exploring Team Labs. Team Labs is sort of like an interactive art experience. You walk barefoot through water, which I think is kind of interesting. I know it might sound kind of unusual, but it's definitely part of an immersive experience. And then you just explore all sorts of different types of rooms. There's a room with flowers, and there's even a room that has projections of koi fish on the floor, so I think that's quite interesting. And if you know me well, the part of the trip I'm most excited about is all the delicious food we'll be eating. I have so many different great places in Tokyo. One of the restaurants I'm really excited about is a restaurant where you catch your own fish. That's right, there's this restaurant full of fish tanks, and they give you a little fishing pole and you're able to hook and end up catching your own fish, and then they'll bring it back into the kitchen and they'll make it fresh right for you. So that's going to be some of the most fresh fish you ever taste, and I think that's going to be a really fun experience. After spending a few days in Tokyo, I'm going to be taking the Shinkansen, aka the bullet train, all the way down to Miyajima Island, or Itsukushima, which is off the coast of Hiroshima, Japan. One of the most iconic sights to see in Miyajima is the giant torii gate that they have floating in the water, and that has literally been there for hundreds of years. And fun fact, a couple of weeks ago, G7 met in Japan and they all took a photo right in front of the torii gate. So I think that's going to be quite interesting to see, and it's kind of cool that some of the world's top leaders have even taken a picture in front of it. The part I'm most excited about for Miyajima is staying at a traditional Japanese ryokan, or a Japanese inn. This is going to be a really unique experience because I'm staying at the Iwaso, which is 169 years old, so I think that's really impressive. I'll be staying there for a couple of nights, and every single night they serve dinner, which is included with the cost of the room, and it's this really elaborate course dinner known as Japanese kaiseki, and they basically serve you a whole bunch of different dishes that ends up making one fantastic feast of a dinner. I've definitely looked into the food, and all the dishes look incredible. You can definitely tell that they're made with love, and everything is also made with local ingredients of produce. After spending a couple days on an island, I have a really busy day planned. It just so happens that I'm going to be turning 18 on my trip to Japan, so that's going to be a really special day and I have a lot planned for it. I'm going to be leaving the island that day and heading to Hiroshima, which is the famous site of where the first atomic bomb was dropped in World War II, so that's definitely going to be a humbling experience. I definitely want to go to the A-Bomb Dome, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's kind of one of those unique sites in Japan that everyone needs to see at least once. I also have a once-in-a-lifetime dinner planned for that night. I'm going to be taking a 1-hour-long train ride to the city of Kobe, which is famous for their A5 Wagyu beef. If you know A5 Wagyu, Kobe beef is one of the most prized cuts, and it is definitely not cheap, but I thought it's going to be a really nice experience and something I might only be able to do once in my lifetime, and just because it's only an hour away from Hiroshima, I thought this is the perfect opportunity to fulfill one of my bucket list items. The next morning, I'm going to be flying out of Hiroshima, and then I'm going to be heading to Hokkaido, which is Japan's northernmost island, and I'm going to be flying into the capital of Sapporo. My time in Hokkaido is going to be quite a hectic, busy time. I'm going to start by having my first full day in Sapporo, of course, and there's this really cool place I want to check out. It specializes in live king crab. It's this whole restaurant filled with tanks of huge and gigantic king crab. They almost look like aliens because they're so big, and then they'll prepare them fresh for you. And I love seafood, so I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a life-changing crab eating, seafood eating experience. When I'm in Sapporo, I'm going to be making a lot of day trips. One of the places I'm going to be heading to is Otaru. It's this small town known for its canals. They have all sorts of interesting food there as well. Another pretty unique place I'm going to be checking out is the small town of Furano. They're known for all of their flowers, and because I'm going in June, everything is going to be in almost full bloom, so it's really colorful. And if you see the pictures online, you just see endless field full of all sorts of different colorful flowers. Another popular place to check out in Hokkaido is Noboribetsu, which is famous for Hell Valley, which is basically like this super scary, sulfurous looking hot spring sort of area. You just walk through all these sort of different hot springs, and there's all these geysers of water, and supposedly it smells like rotten eggs because of the sulfur there. So I think that's going to be quite an out of world experience, and I think that's definitely going to be something to look forward to. After exploring all those day trips out of Sapporo, I'm going to be moving again down south. I'm going to be taking a 4-hour train ride to Hakodate, which is on the tip of Hokkaido. That is more towards the main island of Honshu and towards Tokyo. And Hakodate is a small port town known for their seafood and really famous for their morning market, which I'll be excited to explore the next morning after arriving there. Because Hakodate is so small, I'm going to be just spending around 24 hours there. I'm going to be leaving in the morning from Sapporo, probably getting there in early afternoon, and leaving the early afternoon the next day. And what I'm really excited for is the Hokkaido Shinkansen, which takes you on that 2-hour journey because it is Japan's fastest train, and it goes about 200 miles an hour, which I find is just mind-boggling. I'm going to be ending my trip in Tokyo, and I have so much planned again for Tokyo, so many food places, and I don't want to give everything away, but definitely one of the highlights I want to do towards the end of my trip is I'm going to be trying pufferfish, or Japanese fugu, which is a really unique food. Pufferfish is incredibly poisonous, but when prepared correctly, it is completely safe to eat, and it's been a delicacy in Japan for many, many years. During one point in Japan's history, pufferfish was even banned because it was so dangerous to eat, but now chefs go through a rigorous training course on how to prepare the fish, and it's actually quite safe to eat, with deaths from pufferfish only in the single digits every year, and considering the amount of people to eat it, it's really quite safe to eat. One more day trip that I want to make before the end of my trip is from Tokyo. I'm going to be leaving to go to Hakone. That's a couple-hour train ride, and Hakone is this really interesting mountain town. It's really quiet and peaceful there. There's a lot of interesting sights to see. For one, they have some more sulfur hot springs, just like in Noboribetsu, and then I want to go to their lake that is really quite famous because you can take a pirate ship around it, and while there, you can see some insane views of Mount Fuji, which is an iconic site of Japan. And after spending another day or two in Tokyo, that is going to conclude the end of my Japan trip, and I think it's going to be quite the feat. If I manage to do everything that I have set out, that would be 10 cities in 18 days, so I think that's quite an impressive number. This is definitely shaping out to be the most ambitious trip I've ever taken in my life, and I'm really excited for the experience, and I can't wait to bring you all along with me, and I really hope you're looking forward to the videos, and I hope this video was able to give you a little bit of heads up of what to expect on my trip to Japan. And yeah, I really hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure if you did to give a like, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you for the first video of our Japan series in a few weeks.